Welcome back to all of you artists and tabletop gamers out there. It's your art teacher, Mr. Guerra, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play the Buzu Battle trading card game. That's right. I'll be going over the tips, tricks, and best practices that are sure to help you reach Buzu Boss Mode. Let's begin. At a glance, the table of contents shows you all of the major topics that we'll be going over. If you'd like to shortcut to something specific that you see here, I've provided timestamp links for each one in the description below. The Buzu Battle Trading Card Game, or TCG for short, is made up of 100 deck cards, all of which are listed here. Included with this edition, you'll also get the first 6 Buzu Artisan trading cards and 4 dice. Also included are optional digital downloads that you can print from home to make gameplay a little bit more organized and a lot more exciting. We'll be getting into the what and why of each download, but first, let's go over the difference between a player and an opponent. Now, anytime I say player, I'm referring to you, the person learning how to play right now. However, when I mention an opponent or opponents, I'm talking about anyone else who is playing this game with you. And it is to you, dear player, that I say, welcome to the Buzuverse, where all Buzu characters go to battle. An important part of playing this game is to read all cards carefully. The rules we'll go through are generally the way to play. However, I have purposely created cards that bend or even break these rules. So what the card says is always right. So please be sure to read all cards carefully before deciding how to use them. The object of the game is to defeat all other opponents before they defeat you. Over the course of the game, you can use various strategies that allow your Buzu character to heal itself, equip various items, deal damage to your opponents, power up, and even come back after defeat. If your opponent's Buzu character takes damage equal to or greater than its health point value, they are eliminated from the game. Emerge victorious by eliminating all your opponents. However, if you take damage equal to or greater than your Buzu character's HP value, you are eliminated. Be on the lookout for the Ruby Red Sneakers item card. If you have been eliminated but have this card in your hand, play it immediately, and you'll be able to continue playing with 30 HP and keep all of the cards in your hand, as well as any infinity cards you may already have. All players start the game with their character card placed in front of them, facing up. If a player wants to use a plus HP card to boost their character's HP total, they must equip it at this time, and it goes to the right of their character card. All players roll a die to determine the order of play. The player who rolls the highest number goes first. Anytime that 2 or more players roll against each other and it results in a tie, those players must roll again until someone wins. Shuffle the deck thoroughly before beginning gameplay, and players proceed clockwise from the person who starts first. There is no dealer needed to play this game. Players are responsible for drawing from the deck and discarding to the discard pile. All players start by drawing 2 cards from the deck. Players must take the top card whenever they are selecting from the deck. Should a player forget to use an infinity card or any card in their hand during their turn, they miss out on that chance and cannot retrieve the lost action until their next turn. At the beginning of a player's turn, they may do one of the following 4 things. Number 1, draw. Draw 1 card from the top of the deck. If the card you've drawn can be used, you can either use the card immediately or hold on to it for later use. As a note aside, some cards, such as Icky Yucks, must be used immediately once drawn. So you got to remember, always do what the card says. Number 2, direct attack. And this is attacking by rolling the dice. Choose an opponent to attack. This option is automatically worth the damage listed as the character's first special ability, regardless of what you roll. Roll 2 dice one time in an attempt to correctly roll one or both special abilities. Now, there is no defense against a direct attack. Number 3, discard. Players discard in order to get rid of cards that they don't want or to maintain the maximum limit of 5 cards allowable in each player's hand. Number 4, equip. Players may equip or activate an item, usually an affinity card, by placing it down onto the battleground. You can find more information about the battlegrounds on page 6. The player's hand. A player can have no more than 5 deck cards in their hand at any time. This does not include their character card, a plus HP card, or any equipped infinity cards. Players should not allow their cards to be seen by their opponents. This does not include character cards or equipped infinity cards. Infinity cards must be placed face up and on the battleground. A player cannot have more than 3 infinity cards at one time. And if you do have 3 infinity cards already equipped and you draw another one, choose which 3 to keep and then discard the 4th. OP violations. A player may purposely break the limit of having 5 cards in their hand. This makes the player's hand overpowered, or OP. If a player correctly calls out an opponent for being in OP violation, the opponent loses a turn. The opponent in OP violation must then discard the needed number of cards so that they have 5 cards in their hand again. If a player incorrectly calls out an opponent for being in OP violation, then the player loses a turn. Now, when we refer to the battleground, we're simply talking about the actual ground, or the floor, or tabletop, or any other surface upon which you place down a Buzu deck card for everyone to see. Now, as an option, printable game boards are available in case you'd like to use those as your battleground. It will definitely help players keep their cards organized during gameplay, and it's free. Just click the link in the description below. Infinity cards. Once drawn from the deck, an infinity card should be equipped immediately. Players are allowed to equip a maximum of 3 infinity cards. These infinity cards cannot be taken with Gimme Dat cards unless the Gimme Dat card specifically says so. For more on Gimme Dat cards, check out page 21. Give your addition and subtraction skills a workout by using score tally sheets. There are enough spaces for 6 players, with each player getting 2 columns of their own. You can download and print out score tally sheets for free. Just click on the link below. And of course, you don't have to use these score tally sheets, but they certainly are handy when it comes to keeping your HP totals organized. Eliminating opponents. When a player successfully eliminates an opponent from gameplay, they are able to take 1 equipped infinity card from the eliminated opponent, but only if they have 1 to take. If you do take an infinity card, you can still only have 3 equipped. And taking an eliminated opponent's infinity card is optional. You don't have to. All of the eliminated opponent's remaining cards are to be placed at the bottom of the discard pile. Also, the eliminated opponent's character card must be removed from the battleground as well. And then some. If a player defeats an opponent with more HP damage than what the opponent had left, the player adds the extra HP back onto their score. From discard to deck. In the event that all of the deck cards are used, the discard pile must be reshuffled and placed back onto the battleground for reuse. Additional deck card expansion packs are available on our website. Go to buzushop.com. Okay, so let's circle back around to plus HP cards. By equipping a plus HP card, you will boost your character's HP total, and the card you use may also improve a character's offense or defense. All plus HP cards must be equipped at the beginning of the game, and these cards cannot be taken with Gimme Dat cards or be taken from an eliminated opponent. If you'd like to check out what plus HP cards are currently available, please go to buzushop.com. There are 12 classifications used to help identify and organize any Buzu character imaginable. Whenever a Buzu trading card character is created, it must be based on a combination of any two classifications. The 12 Buzu classifications are anatomy, as related to parts of a living being's physical body. Examples being the head, arms, beak, paws, wings, hands, feet, etc. Animal, as related to non-fictional members of the animal kingdom, which doesn't include humans. Examples of this are insects, fish, reptiles, birds, mammals, and dinosaurs. Behavior, as related to personalities, emotions, and character traits. Examples of this are sleepy, confused, sweet, shy, angry, or antisocial. Extrasensory, as related to the five senses or how the character understands its environment. Examples include hearing, sight, smell, taste, touch, and mind. Food, as related to consumable food or flavors. Examples: fruits, vegetables, pizzas, desserts, candy, gum, or even things like sweet, sour, tangy. Identity, as related to a non-fiction occupation, pastime, or pursuit, such as pirates, ninjas, doctors, hunters, knights, and police. Knowledge, as related to a learning discipline or area of expertise. Examples include math, science, music, history, and of course, art. Mythic, as related to fictional characters of myth and legend, which include dragons, unicorns, ghosts, goblins, trolls, and elves. Nature, as related to outdoor environments. Examples are fire, mud, water, rock, weather, lava, and plants. Object, as related to non-living, man-made things. For example, balloons, paint, instruments, mirrors, clothes, tools. Superhuman, as related to a fictional superpower, such as flight, teleportation, invisibility, and super strength. Technology, as related to non-living forms of automation, machinery, and computers. Examples of this one are robots, androids, cyborgs, circuits. Now don't get too caught up in these 12 classifications, as they aren't required knowledge in order to play the Buzu Battle TCG. But I did include this as reference so that you can look up what those funny little icons at the top of the cards actually mean. Buzu character cards. It's important to know your ABCs when it comes to these so that you can read them correctly in order to play the game. We're going to start with our artisan cards. These are made by me, Mr. Guerra. Each one features a QR code that links to a video art lesson that matches the theme of its card character. Number 1, classifications. Since we just went through these on the previous page, you already know what they mean. The characters' classifications are always on either side of their name. Number 2, gear number. This shows the order in which the card was officially added to the Buzuverse, and of course it's organized by card type. The smaller gear to the left of the gear number reveals what kind of card it is. A for artisan, B for baseline, and C for custom. Number 3, the health point value. HP values for artisan Buzu cards may vary. Number 4, special abilities. All Buzu characters have 3 special abilities listed by name. Number 5, artwork example. A finished example of the art project that's taught in the QR code video is shown in this area. Number 6, profile information and description. Now this usually features a square with a smaller image of the character and a short description that gets a little deeper into who the character is. Number 7, the it-bit, also known as a kawaii. This is just a cuter version of the character. Number 8, dice values. Just a reminder, dice and ability values are used for direct attacks and strive for 5 cards. These show the numbers that need to be rolled with a 6-sided die. Dice values can vary from card to card. Number 9, ability values. The amount or amounts to be subtracted from the opponent's HP total. Special ability values can vary from card to card. Number 10, the QR code. Scanning the QR code with a smartphone or tablet device automatically takes the players to a video art lesson taught by me, as I had mentioned before. These videos match the theme of the card. Number 11. Art lessons are organized into 3 categories: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. This is to help give kids and adults an idea of the skill needed to complete the art project. That way, they can choose the card that's best for them, or better yet, collect them all. Buzu trading cards also feature a gear icon, indicating how rare the card is. The gear icons are common, uncommon, rare, and ultra rare. Let's talk about baseline Buzu cards. These cards are also made by yours truly, Mr. Guerra. Each one features a QR code that links to a video that offers art tips and tricks and best practices that match the overall theme of the card. Baseline Buzu cards help artists to learn the skills that they'll need to do better with their artistic efforts. Number 1, classifications. The characters' classifications are always on either side of their name. Number 2, gear number. For every Buzu card, this always shows the order in which the card was officially added to the Buzuverse, and it's organized by card type. The smaller gear to the left of the gear number reveals what type of card it is. A for artisan, B for baseline, and C for custom. Number 3, health point value. HP values for baseline Buzu cards will vary. Number 4, special abilities. All Buzu characters have 3 special abilities listed by name. Number 5, baseline icon. The image shown here offers an example or idea of the video's subject matter. Number 6, profile information and description. This area features a smaller image of the character and a short description that gets a little deeper into who the character is. Number 8, dice values. Just a reminder, dice and ability values are used for direct attacks and strive for 5 cards. These show the numbers that need to be rolled with a 6-sided die. Dice values will vary from card to card. Number 9, ability values. These are the amounts to be subtracted from the opponent's HP total. Special ability values can vary from card to card. And number 10, the QR code. Scanning the QR code of a baseline Buzu card with it automatically takes players to the video lesson designed to establish a baseline of information that young artists should know. Number 11. Buzu trading cards also feature a gear icon, indicating how rare the card is. The gear icons are common, uncommon, rare, and ultra rare. Okay, now these Buzu cards are my favorite. Custom Buzu card characters are originally designed by kid artists. These unique characters are then professionally and faithfully re-rendered once again by me, Mr. Guerra. Number 1, classifications. The characters' classifications are always on either side of their name. Number 2, gear number. The gear number shows the order in which the card was officially added to the Buzuverse and is organized by card type. The smaller gear to the left of the gear number reveals what type of card it is. A for artisan, B for baseline, and C for custom. Number 3, health point value. All HP values for custom Buzu cards are at 100. And if a player wants to increase the HP value of their custom Buzu card, all they have to do is get a plus HP card at buzushop.com. Number 4, special abilities. All Buzu characters have 3 special abilities that are listed by name. Number 5, artwork example. This image is of the original artist's design and is featured on the B side of every custom Buzu card. Number 6, artist's credit. The name and age of the artist who originally designed the featured character is listed here by first name and the first letter of their last name. Number 7, It-Bit. Also known as a kawaii, this is a cuter version of the character. Number 8, dice values. Just a reminder, dice and ability values are used for direct attacks and strive for 5 cards. These show the numbers that are needed to be rolled with a 6-sided die. Dice values can vary from card to card. Number 9, ability values. These are the amounts to be subtracted from the opponent's HP total. Special ability values are set for custom Buzu cards at 5, 10, and 20. Number 10, QR code. Scanning the QR code of a custom Buzu card with a smartphone or tablet device automatically takes players to a video interview between myself and the artist responsible for designing the character. Number 11. Buzu trading cards also feature a gear icon, indicating how rare the card is. The gear icons are common, uncommon, rare, and ultra rare. Buzu deck cards. Let's start with the gear cards. And by the way, it's important to mention that gear cards are not item cards. We'll get to why that's important in just a moment. Gear cards restore HP to Buzu characters who have less than their full HP total. And it's important to note that players cannot have an HP total greater than the amount that they started the game with. Now, when you draw this card from the deck, players automatically receive the amount on the largest gear in the center of the card. If a player's already at their maximum HP, they may choose to hold onto their gear card until it is needed, or they may discard it to make room for another card on their next turn. What's awesome about these cards is that players may also receive an added bonus if their character's classifications match those shown in the corners of the gear card, plus the amount listed on the largest gear in the center, which they're already guaranteed. Let's use Overlapis Lazuli as an example. A player using this card draws this gear card from the deck. The player automatically gets the +1 in the middle, plus they also get their matching classification bonuses for nature and anatomy. Adding these amounts up, 1 + 9 + 7 equals 17. So you would add 17 health points onto whatever your total health points are, unless you're already at the amount that you started the game with. And once you've used your gear card and added up your points, the gear card must be placed onto the discard pile. Power Up and Unleash cards. Power Up and Unleash cards are not item cards. We'll get more into why this is important when we go over item cards in just a moment. Power-up cards allow you to build an attack based on the value shown on the card. Power-up attacks can only be used against one other player, not against multiple players. There is no defense against a power-up attack. Some players store up power, hoping to randomly draw these cards and collect them during the game, just waiting to have a hefty bit of power to unleash onto their opponent. But these cards cannot be used without an Unleash card. Without an Unleash card, a power-up card does you no good. Think of it as potential energy, just waiting to be used. Just as an Unleash card does you no good by itself. Sure, you're ready to unleash an attack on your opponent, but without any power behind it, it's useless. You may want to use an Unleash card with one power-up card or many, depending on what you draw from the deck and or your strategy during the game. Once power-up and Unleash cards have been used, they must be placed onto the discard pile. Strive for 5 cards. Again, Strive for 5 cards are not item cards, and we're almost getting to that part, but first, Strive for 5 cards allow players up to 5 chances to correctly roll one or both of their character's dice value special abilities. These are always the second and third special abilities listed. And just to be clear, the top special ability listed for any Buzu trading card character is not used when playing a Strive for 5 card. Using 2 dice, if the player successfully rolls one or both of their character's dice value special abilities, the player stops rolling and the total amount of damage is subtracted from the score of an opponent of their choosing. A player may choose not to use their Strive for 5 card immediately, but to instead hold on to it for later use. Once used, Strive for 5 cards must be placed onto the discard pile. Example number 1. A player using Sheeny of the Lamp draws a Strive for 5 card from the deck. The player decides to use the card immediately by rolling the 2 different dice in an effort to successfully roll a 4 and or a 2, which are the dice values listed on the B side of the card. On the first roll, the player rolled a 1 and a 6. No good. On the second roll, the player rolled a 5 and a 3. No good. On the third roll, the player rolled a 4 and a 2. Exactly what they needed. The player adds the 2 values listed on the B side of the card and subtracts them from the opponent's HP total. Example number 2. Using the same cards, the player decides to play their Strive for 5 card immediately. On the first roll, the player rolled a 2 and a 6. Since the player successfully rolled a 2, -20, the points are then subtracted from the opponent's HP total. Once you have rolled one or both of the numbers listed on the back of your character card, your turn is over. If you roll all 5 times and still don't get the numbers that you want, place the Strive for 5 card onto the discard pile, and it's now the next player's turn. Buzu Battle Cards. Alright, these are the cards that the game was named after. And, of course, Buzu Battle Cards are also not item cards. Buzu Battle Cards allow players to directly battle with an opponent of their choosing. A player can use this card immediately or hold on to it for future use. Once an opponent has been selected, both the player and the opponent roll 1 die each. If the player rolls the higher number, the sum total of both rolls is deducted from the opponent's current HP total. If the opponent rolls the higher number, only the number the player rolled is deducted from the player's current HP total. Anytime players roll against each other and it results in a tie, the players must roll again. After the HP points have been deducted, the Buzu Battle card must be placed onto the discard pile. Buzu item cards feature a variety of non-violent and wonderfully unique props that your character can use during the game. Now, as a general rule, item cards only work with other item cards, so they don't really interact with power-ups, Buzu Battle cards, Strive for 5 cards, or gear cards. Now, there is one exception, which is Gimme Dat cards, which you can use to take any card from another player, but we'll get to that in just a moment. Should you draw an item card from the deck, you always want to keep an eye out for this space, which will tell you whether the card can be used only once or if it is an infinity card. Also, the information in this area specifically tells you how the item card works, so be sure to read it carefully. If it is a one-time card, you can use it immediately after it's drawn from the deck or hold on to it for future use. All infinity cards must be equipped. That means placed down face up on the player's battleground once drawn from the deck. Players can equip up to 3 infinity cards at a time and may replace infinity cards already equipped with a new one should they so choose. After you use a one-time item card, it goes onto the discard pile. An infinity card, however, only goes onto the discard pile if the player using it is eliminated or you draw an infinity card, you already have 3 equipped and would like to replace one, or you just want to discard the one you just drew. There are 5 different types of item cards, and they are offense, defense, health, lose a turn, and gimme dat. There are also answer key item cards, but since these are optional, we will be going over them separately. Okay, so let's start with offense item cards, which feature items players can use to attack opponents and lower their HP score. Some offensive item cards cannot be used individually and must be used with another offense item card. Defense item cards help players to protect themselves from opponent attacks by limiting HP damage. There are also defense item cards that will allow you to avoid or even redirect opponent attacks. Some defense item cards have the word react in the upper left corner of the item's image. These cards can be used immediately in response to an opponent's attack when it is not your turn. Health item cards allow players to restore any lost HP. Some health item cards allow players to come back even after they've lost all of their HP points. And just a reminder that players cannot have more HP points than what they started the game with. Gimme Dat item cards allow players to take cards from their opponents, except for plus HP cards. Some Gimme Dat item cards allow you to react when it is not your turn by taking a card from an opponent right after they draw a card from the deck. Other Gimme Dat item cards allow you to see an opponent's entire hand, so you can take the card that you want most. And again, just remember, you have to read the item cards carefully to know how they work. Lose Your Turn item cards allow players to select an opponent to lose their turn. Sometimes a player can forget that they have an infinity card and miss out on their chance to use it during their turn. If your turn is over and you forgot to use your infinity card, you, unfortunately, cannot go back and use it. You must wait for your next turn. Answer key item cards are an optional part of the Buzu Battle TCG. These were meant for teachers and parents looking to build player knowledge on any topic that they'd like. Players answer pre-selected questions that come in 3 levels of difficulty. Easy questions for the Jade key, medium questions for the Amber key, and difficult questions for the Ruby key. Players who answer pre-selected questions correctly are allowed to choose whether to add the HP points to their total or deduct the HP points from one opponent of their choosing. Blurters, beware! If an opponent blurts out an answer, they lose 10 HP points as well as their next turn. A person who is not playing the game must be the one who decides what the Jade, Amber, and Ruby questions are. The person deciding what questions are used for this game can base them on any topic: science, math, even art. Any subject will do. Questions may also be assigned a time limit if needed. You can write the questions down on a blank sheet of paper hidden from players until they draw an answer key card, or better yet, download and print the official answer key worksheet, link in the description below. For your convenience, I have attached this itemized deck card list for the Buzu Battle TCG, as well as this glossary of terms for the game. If you still have questions on how to play, check out our frequently asked questions page at buzucards.com/FAQ. And also, don't forget to visit buzushop.com, where you can find the Buzu Battle TCG, plus HP cards, and, of course, build your Buzu trading card collection. I want to thank you so much for playing the Buzu Battle TCG. I hope you had a lot of fun. Well, that's all I've got for now, and I will see you next time.